what we'll do is we'll start with our first presentation. Want to hand it over to my colleague Lucas Cruz. He'll be doing a presentation called "When the Paycheck Stops."
Okay. All right. That's good.
Good. Lucas.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Lucas. I'm with the California Federation of Labor Unions. And as Cesar shared, we'll be doing a presentation called When the Paycheck Stops. The goal of this presentation is to just give you some basic reminders of some things we might not be thinking about at the time of unemployment. You know, again, we're not here to minimize the situation. We know that it's stressful and it can be a little chaotic at times, but this is just kind of a refresher of some of the steps that you can take, and hopefully it'll help you in your transitionary period. Some of the content we'll be going over is surviving unemployment, personal finances, and job search action plan. So we like to start off by reminding everybody the world did not end, even though it may feel that way. You know, again, it's very stressful, but we want to just stress that this situation is temporary. You know, there's been times, I'm sure, in your life, as well as everyone here's, where it feels like everything is collapsing inward. But this is where it's really important to be able to reach out to your friends, to your family, to your colleagues, anyone for some support at this time. And that way you're able to transition yourself out. And as we're talking about some of these measures that you may have to take, again, it's not easy, but it's just reminding yourself that it is temporary. Okay, section 2 is going to be personal finances. So again, unemployment doesn't just affect yourself, it can affect your entire family. So this is where it's really important to reach out to your family and have these frank conversations with each other of what's possible at the time and what's not. It's also important to be able to reach out to your union. We have members here of UFCW 5, and you can always reach out to your local. That way for any other additional support they may be able to offer. And it's also important to start looking at any other community services that you might be able to reach out to. One of the best examples is 211. If you don't know where exactly to start, you can give 211 a call. If you need help with finding any food banks, if you need help with finding any other resources, even mental health resources, I'd give 211 a call and they'll be able to help direct you. Okay, one of the first steps you can take is to begin to reduce your household expenses. You know, again, it's looking at some of the subscriptions you might have. So for example, if you have a Netflix account, if you don't need the Netflix account at this time, it's a way to save some money. Also looking at streaming services like Tidal, Spotify, any of the music ones, and cutting those, you know, looking at utility cost reduction, you know, looking at your internet bill. Do you need the high-speed internet at this time? Is it necessary? You know, making those type of reductions, and also managing the lights, gas, and water, you know, being conscious when we're taking showers, being conscious when we're leaving lights on in the house, and also reaching out to your local food bank. You know, during the pandemic, I was doing a lot of assistance with helping people with resources and helping them find, you know, their unemployment insurance, whatever it may be. But the one thing that I found interesting is that we were all in this situation of job loss and people still did not want to go to the food bank. And I think there's this unnecessary stigma with going to the food bank to receive help. And again, the resource is there for you to be able to utilize it. And if you're able to still go to the grocery store, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to get all your food from the food bank, but look at it as a good supplement. So if you can go there to get the dry goods, you can go get your proteins at the store. But definitely use this resource. It's there for a reason. Okay. Also, taking charge of your personal finances is talking to your creditors. You know, this is a chance for you to be able to negotiate the minimum payments that you may be making on any credit cards or any other debts or loans. And the one thing to keep in mind as you are having these negotiating conversations, make sure you do not overpromise. You don't want to promise that you can pay a minimum that the next month you may not be able to. You know, this is the best way that, again, as you're in this temporary situation, you want to make sure you can manage your bills and pay things that you actually can. You know, and also checking now if you're eligible for certain benefits. You know, that's looking at, for instance, CalFresh. You know, you might be able to apply for CalFresh at this time. You know, here in San Diego at SDG&E, we have a CARE program. So you might want to see if PG&E or others offer that, where based on your income, they may be able to reduce your electricity bill. And it's also just creating a budget overall. So looking at everything we just discussed, laying it out on a spreadsheet, and just seeing exactly what the goal is going to be for that month. Okay, and it's also looking at exploring additional income. You know, thanks to things like the internet, you're able to look at different avenues of income. So for example, you might be able to sell some items that you might have lying around the house. Maybe you have, a collection of things that people might be interested in on Facebook Marketplace, or also looking at another app like OfferUp. There's also the gig economy, looking at different jobs for in the interim, like Lyft, Uber, DoorDash. And again, these may not be the most practical options or even the most sought after options you may want to take at the time. But it's something to help you in the interim. Because again, the situation is temporary, and the hope is you're able to get yourself out of that situation sooner than later. And also looking at a financial assistance too, just quickly, the county programs here, you might want to look to see if they have cash assistance programs or emergency assistance programs. They may be able to offer you some income. Okay, section 3 is going to be the job search action plan. It's beginning to do this preparation, as we're in the interim of finding a new job. You want to take this time to sit down and start taking stock of yourself. What have you learned at your time at Barnes & Noble? What other skills might have you picked up over the years? And just start writing it out and re-looking at your resume. We'll be going over some more resources later in the presentation with some of our partners that'll give you more detailed information on the actual resume workshops, but just really start looking at it. Like, what have I learned? And also manifesting too. What kind of job would I like to get to down the line? What is the goal that I'd like to receive as far as my pay? And even though it may not be the immediate job right after, it's good to start taking stock, seeing what your potential is, and then pursuing something that you'd like to get to in the long term. These are some additional resources that can assist you. You can go to unitedway.com. You can also look at usa.gov/unemployment, or you can go to benefits.gov for any additional information on some of the resources that are at your disposal. Okay, and thank you very much. And again, this presentation is just to kind of give you some reminders, and we wish you luck on your transition into your next job.
Thank you, Lucas. Now we have some presentations from EDD, Covered California, and others, but I'll pass it over to Mr. Brown that's going to be sharing a PowerPoint.
Okay, thank you, Cesar. And just so you know, one of my partners is still having a tough time coming on, Rubicon, who's our employment and training partners for our WeOR program. And for some reason, they're not able to get in. I can cover that section. I don't know, they're not allowing her to register. So I don't know if you can help her in the meantime, but we can continue on. I'll send over what she sent me, Cesar, and hopefully while we're going, we can work on this.
Yeah, that link that I emailed you earlier should get her on. Him on.
Yeah, I guess that didn't work either. I don't know. It's technology, So what we're gonna need is to be able to share our PowerPoint, and I'll have Lynn from EDD. If you can share it to Lynn, and she'll go ahead and get our first PowerPoint up. And that's Lynn Marie Sodaro. You guys can see if you can allow her to share, she'll bring it up for us.
Yes, you should be able to share now.
Okay, go ahead, Lynn.
I am working on the right one, Charles.
Okay, sounds good.
This should be hopefully the correct one.
Yes, welcome. Yep, that starts it off.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. And could you make it bigger? If you go to the bottom to the right, Lynn, make it.
Hold on one second. I
Set the bottom to the right to enlarge
hold on one second, Charles, because it is here that it's not. All right, let me just stop sharing and start over, because I didn't have it enlarged on my regular screen first.
Okay.
And
so that's, yeah, there we go. So
all
that could
right,
be easier for everybody to see.
Is that fixed now?
It's one more step to make it bigger. If you go to the bottom to the right, there should
On the On the
Yeah,
PowerPoint
yeah,
itself?
there you go. More to the left. More to the left. No, 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 no. It's a symbol to the left, the PowerPoint symbol or something.
I'm not,
You
hold
see
on
the
1 second.
arrow where I'm
Yeah,
at?
hold on 1 second.
Sorry, guys. We just want to make sure everybody can see it clearly, and we'll get through this. I just want to make sure it's clear.
Not a
So,
problem.
okay. Just getting some help too.
If you just click on the slideshow on the very
Yeah, that's.
top, go to slideshow,
No, it should be on the
click on
bottom.
there.
You
No, the
see where?
slideshow. Go to
Huh?
slideshow, click on the slideshow,
I
and then
guess
click
that's
from the
not what we were
beginning.
trying. That's not what we're trying to do. If you look to the bottom on the right where it says notes, on the bottom of the screen, there should be a symbol, the fourth one to the right. No, keep going to the fourth one. No, no, not that. The fourth one. Next one, right after that. The next one. There you go. That one. Click that one, please.
There, now you say from beginning. Then you'll be on a slideshow presentation mode. There you go.
There we
That's
go.
it. Thank you. That's what we're trying to do. Oh, we're set now, Lynn. And where's Lynn? Yeah, it's been a while since we did this PowerPoint, Cesar. We don't. It's been a couple of years, man. So bear with us. This is different,
Not a
but
problem. It
we
happens.
gonna make we gonna make it work. So
She was talking. She might have been accidentally muted herself.
okay,
Yeah, so you can
let's.
see her talking.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Not used to. Yeah, we gonna get through it, man. Let's bear with us.
Yeah, if she's muted,
So
it's muted on some other way than on
Yeah,
the
it's
yeah,
on.
invitation.
Can you hear me now?
yes, we can
Yes.
hear you. Uh-huh. We can't see you though.
You can't see me.
I don't know.
That I
We
can.
could see you. Yeah, we could see
Okay.
you.
Oh, you can see her. Okay.
Okay. I'm here.
All right. Let's move on to the next slide if you can navigate that.
I can navigate that now, Charles.
All right. We're in business, guys. Thanks for your patience. Like Cesar said, it feels like a Monday. We gonna get through
Yeah.
it.
Feels like a holiday.
Yeah, it does. Okay. So again, I am Charles Brown with the Workforce Development Board. And I just want to first say, I'm sorry you all as impacted employees are going to be going through this transition, but just so you know that we are all here as support to you. So we have a variety of services to help you as job seekers. And so I have a panel of partners who's going to be speaking to you today from our Employment Development Department, as well as from our Recover California representative, Health Markets, and also from the U.S. Department of Labor. And they'll, all come on in order. We can go to the next slide. Okay. And so just went over that. And of course, all of these services that's being presented to you today are at no cost. So, and we can go on to the next slide. Yeah. Okay. So from our team, this is our contact information. And as a rapid response coordinator, I can always get you reconnected. And so we're going to leave this up for a few extra seconds just to make sure you have the contact information of the representatives that you're going to hear from today. And so, because this is an orientation today, but you will have the opportunity to schedule your own one-on-one appointments for those of you that's, I believe, in the El Cerrito store. And we also have the information for our partners at Work to Future, which will represent the San Jose store, and that information to come up after this information. Because we understand that everyone has different situations. And so by you having this contact information, you're able to follow up and go into detail about your own particular situation. And so that's why we want to make sure you have the contact information here. All right.
Are we ready?
Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so I guess San Jose's contact information to come up a little later. Okay, that's fine. We'll bring that up when it comes. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over this because our partners at Rubicon was not able to come on, but we do have in our workforce development system all throughout the country, as well as the San Francisco Bay Area, a employment and training program called WIOA, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. This is federal legislation designed to assist unemployed and underemployed workers to manage their careers by providing access to labor market information, training, and access to employers. Let's see. And let's see if this,
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. I don't know if this link is supposed to go to, there we go. All right. Okay, so in the WIOR program, there is two components of the program. So the one on the left says career services. And so this is for individuals who choose to go to school and get trained in a high growth industry sector. And so in this, you'll meet with the WIOR career coach. They'll review what your goals are, put a plan together. You will review various training providers who all are vetted through the state of California. These providers are professionals, and we pay them every year to train our folks to help them get licensed and certified in a high growth industry sector. And so this does require funding, and that's what we do. We authorize the funding for you to participate in going to school. Now, you guys will have status changes as you get laid off. Once you get laid off, you'll be classified as what we call a dislocated worker. And that means that you're someone who have lost their job at no fault of their own. And so because of that status, you automatically qualify for the WIOR employment and training program. The other section of the program is employment services. So this is for someone who primarily just needs help with job search, job placement assistance. They just want to find a job. And so we are career coaches at Rubicon that can assist you with that. And so that's the difference between the two sections of career services, employment services. One is simply employment services, helping you to find a job, keep a job. That can include setting up what we call a OJT agreement with an employer, where as you're being trained on the job, we will actually reimburse them for onboarding costs for a certain period of time. And so you get a chance to get your resume revived, a cover letter, help you get organized in your job search. And we acknowledge for most dislocated workers, it's been a while for them as far as job searching, because they usually have been on a job for maybe 5, 10, in some cases 20 plus years. And so, we have refresher things that our coaches go over with you. And usually the first step is to go to an orientation, which we have every month, which is every first Tuesday at 10 o'clock here in our office. But you don't have to wait for that date or that time. We have you register once you're ready to sign on. We get you the information to sign on, and then usually in a few days, you get assigned your first meeting with your coach, and your coach can do a one-on-one orientation. So we do have flexibility there. Let me go to the next slide, Lynn. Thank you. So this talks about how to get set up with the orientation. And so we use a QR code, and it gets you right into the area where you will sign up. And this talks about the orientation schedule. Again, this is for our area here in Concord and Contra Costa. But they're going on all over. And we can assist if needed to get you connected. Our partners here will go over that with you at Work the Future for those of you who are part of the San Jose store. So, okay. So we are part of what we call the AJCC system in California, America's Job Centers of California, which offers a variety of services that bring employers with job openings and qualified job seekers together at no cost. There are several types of services available at an AJCC. So, of course, you heard of the We Are program. Yes, that's done here. We have other programs such as Trade Adjustment Assistance Program, Information, Career Planning, access to computers. There's different job readiness workshops such as resume writing, interviewing skills, job retention, job search workshops. We have computer workshops, things like that. And there's information on job fairs and other job matching services. And we do host a variety of job fairs, career fairs throughout the year. And that's one area that I work on as far as planning those type of events. Let's see, so marketing workers to area employers. And so that's another thing that we are career coaches at Rubicon does. And there's different occupational training that they can also share with you. All right, we can go to the next slide. Okay. So we also, if there's any veterans from either of the stores, we want to first thank you for your service. But we also do have specific services dedicated to veterans as well as youth here in our center. And that comes from our EDD department, which you will hear from soon. Yes, there's different job clubs, employee recruitments. We call them on-site recruitments. That's where we invite employers to come to our career center to give presentations, to discuss their different opportunities, to conduct on the job, I would say on the spot interviews. So this is a great way for employers to meet our job seeker community at our career centers, and we market the events and all of those things. And it's a streamlined way to get hired. We provide the space. We use our conference rooms, our interview suites, and we're able to introduce our job seekers that's in our career center who also have seen the recruitments flyers to come in. And there's other resources. You'll hear more about Cal Jobs, which is a requirement as part of unemployment. You'll hear more about that. But also, it all works well for as your job search because you're required to download your resume into a database. And there's also a tool for the employers, which is the virtual recruiter, which allows them to download their job announcements. And so there's an automation going on where your resume could be matched with various job announcements in there. And what it does for the employers, it generates a list of, possible candidates, and then they can choose to contact you and invite you for an interview. So Cal Jobs is required, but it's also a great tool to help you job search and utilize technology. So yes, you get access to thousands of job openings statewide. This is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week system, and of course, there's no fee to use the services. We are government, we're public sector, so there's no cost. It's your tax. We always tell the employers this is their tax dollars going to work for them, so it doesn't cost the employers to utilize the system because they do look for places to post their job announcements, and this is one of the platforms they use. And of course, there's no cost for you as a job seeker, dislocated worker, etc. We can move on to the next slide. Okay. Also, in addition to our WeOr employment and training program, we have a free online training resource we call Metrics Learning. And what this does is this is something you can do remotely from home where you're able to um, get access to over 3,000 courses where you can um, add more certifications to your career portfolio, and you're able to print out your certification online. And we pay for a license, and it's free for all of our job seeker communities. And so it's a great resource. This is something else that you can add to your skill sets to help you become more competitive in the marketplace. So this is extra. There's no cost. It's, again, as you see up top there, it's free. So this is for you if you want to further your education but need flexibility or need training that will make you more competitive, like I stated earlier, or want to open up your career options. Sometimes a person will come to our career center and they may decide they want to make a career change, and that's fine, or get into a better situation. And so our services is open to existing workers as well. So it's open to everyone. So just wanted to share that. Yes, we could share the metrics learning information. Who got you?
You want it there longer, Charles?
No, this is fine. We're on to our calendar. All right, so all AJCCs in the state, they have a AJCC calendar, which has a schedule of events each month. We have a site coordinator who is represented by Rubicon. And so they're the person that puts the calendar together. They help put together our on-site recruitment. So you see a combination of things on our calendar each month that's going on here. Some of the things that I referenced earlier, such as interviewing, workshops. We provide free typing certifications. Um, we have a senior employment program. So you just have a lot of different things. Department of Rehab comes here as well to service those that need their services. So we have partners that come in and out to service our job seeker community depending on the needs. And we have recruitments. And so if you see there on the 22nd, we have a on-site recruitment with the San Francisco airport. They have a business and career center that's coming to provide information on opportunities at the airport. And then we also have another resource in the culinary arts field, which is Chef Ann Foundation. So we usually try to do up to like 4 on-site recruitments. We had 2 on the 9th this month, which was Mistress, who deals with refineries and things of that nature. And then one from the caregiving industry, Always Caring. So those are a few of the recruitments that we've done. We also do information sessions where people can learn about industries and things of that nature. Okay. All right. So didn't want to go into all that, but obviously you will get that information once you come in. You'll get a packet, and it will include the calendar. So we put out a new calendar each month, of course. And so these are our various partners that provide resources here at our Career Center that you see that are listed. Okay. And we always
Next
use
slide.
QR codes to get more information, as you can see. We can move on. I don't want to take too much time on that. All right, I'll turn it over to my partners at Work the Future. Take it away, whom?
Well, thank you, Charles. You cover pretty much all the in terms of career services, or we call it career transition services.
Okay.
So I know that my major of the I know Sings and Martin, and I know Angela. You all are from San Jose office location. So here on the screen you see our three address that you can access our services. So I would recommend you to go to 1608 Las Plumas. That will be our comprehensive center where you can come in and access our services there in person, or you can log on to our website. I just put in the chat box is the metrics that Martin were inquiring about. All you have to do on that website, just sign up with your email, your contact, and within about 24 to 48 hours, you're going to get a log-on credential. So you'll be able to utilize the metrics now. So the only highlight about that is I'm going to use the quick example is this. So a certain courses, it just basically for you to study and learn online, right? When it comes to certification, so I'm going to use this. So if you do project management, they got all the courses on there that you can learn. But for that particular certificate, you have to get a test and get certified, right? And so for that, in order for that to get paid for, you have to come into our system and enroll with us. So in San Jose, you come to Work the Future, but if you live somewhere near Contra Costa County, please tap into Charles and his team services in Contra Costa County, right? Similar services will provide to you wherever you are. As long as you live in the US, the services is there for you. It's available now. You don't have to wait until your last day. I know that it's scheduled to close soon, I think, but it's available now. So just sign up for Metric for now. But all the services that Contra Costa have, Work the Future also have pretty much the same. There will be a little bit variation to it, but of course, it's all no cost for sure. If it any charging you that's not Work the Future or not a local workforce board or a American Job Center. But for those of you who live in San Jose, please contact the number on the screen there. Also is 11, I think it's 408 794 1101 will be our contact. And if you want to access our service online, you can also sign up online as well. And if you have any question, feel free to, I'm going to put my contact information in the chat box. So if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do that as well. But I think that. I think it's pretty much the same services. So I don't want to sort of reiterate the same thing. So giving time for you to be able to talk more about unemployment and so on and so forth. But please do reach out. I will type my contact information in the chat box as well. Okay. Thanks, Charles.
All right, thank you, whom. We can go on to the next slide. Okay, so here in Contra Costa County, we have what you call the Contra Costa Workforce Collaborative, and it means that we have 10 we call them access points. They're like satellite AJCCs because this is a large county. So these are pretty much career centers in different regions of our county, east, central, and west. And so we just wanted to show the locations. And so, of course, here in Concord, work is centered the central region, and this is where our comprehensive career center is located. This is where myself and EDD are located, as well as Rubicon. Rubicon oversees the collaborative for us since they're our contracted partners. And we have this model as it really works for the community where usually we have a career center close to where a person lives. So we reduce their commute time where they don't have to come too far. And we do know most people don't live close to where they work. And so there is AJCCs statewide, of course. They're in all counties. And so we just wanted to share that we have a variety of them throughout our county for a convenience for people to get to our system. So we just wanted to share that. Move forward. Yeah, our centers include 4 adult schools. They include nonprofit, organizations. So we have a combination, as well as our community college district. So we have a couple of sites there. Okay, so we have a video. Guess if it plays, we can go ahead and play it, Lynn, if it decides to play. Let's see. I don't know if there's any volume on it.
I'm gonna try on here. I'm not sure.
If
Yeah,
not, it's okay. All right.
yeah. My screen being this big, I don't know that I can adjust my volume on here.
Okay. So we can skip that. It's okay.
All right.
And
Sorry.
like I said before, you guys will get a more in-depth orientation. That's just a quick preview of what it is through a video that's a few seconds. So, all right. So that concludes our presentation as far as part one. Does anyone have any questions of what they heard? Oh, there's a question from Laura Mesa. Go ahead, Miss Mesa.
I was just curious, that video that you were gonna show, I saw that it's for YouTube, so is there a way to put what the title of it is in the chat? And maybe members could go and review it on YouTube?
Does it have a title on here, Charles?
Isn't that the title in the upper corner where it says Workforce Development Board of Contra Costa County?
That is where you're
That-
gonna find it.
Yeah. And we can send out an email after this event. I have everybody's email, and we'll send a copy of this PowerPoint along with the link to this video.
I think I have here how to lower the volume. Let's see if I can get it to play at a lower volume for you. Is that better?
No, we can't hear it. Chances are when you started sharing, there's a button to click to share the audio. So it's fine. We could get this to everybody later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing then. Okay. And let's get that one. See if I can get my other one on here.
While you're doing that, Lucas did share in the chat the link to the video. So if anybody wants to watch it at another time. Well, she's finding that PowerPoint, if it's okay with everybody, I'll pass it over to Megan from USCW if she wants to share anything as the union as she sets up her PowerPoint.
Hi
The PowerPoint
guys.
is here. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just be just a moment. So just as a reminder, my name is Megan Stanzak with UFCW Local 5. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that, we're really sorry about the store closure, but for those who have interviewed for positions at the designated stores, they do have recall rights at the Emeryville and the Stevens Creek location. That recall list will be shared with the representatives, so they'll also be helping the store to follow up with you guys to make sure you guys can get a recall back to those locations if that's something you are choosing. So please do make sure that your contact information is up to date. You can either let me know or your rep know. I will be putting our email and phone numbers in the chat, so then that way you guys have access to that, even though I feel like most of you guys already do. For those who do not want to interview for a position, they will be getting their severance payout and receive it upon termination of your work within 72 hours of your last shift. You can apply at any other Barnes & Nobles or Paper Source store locations, but you are unfortunately not guaranteed a position at any of those locations. Everyone who is hired at Barnes & Noble's store or an affiliate is eligible for unemployment and a severance from the company. If you have any questions, like I said earlier, you can follow up with your union representative or myself. For El Cerrito, that would be Samantha Webster, and for Almaden, that would be Lori Mesa. And once again, I'll make sure to drop that in the chat for you guys.
Thank you so much, Megan. And over to
Okay.
Lee.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that information, Megan. That's very resourceful and helpful. And the information is being put in the chat. So that's awesome. Okay. So we're going to, at this time, continue our PowerPoint. Going to bring up our next speaker. That'll be Steve Snyder with Health Markets, the unauthorized Covered California representative. And we'll go into detail what's that about as far as affordable health care and those things. Steve, take it away, and we'll navigate the slides, and hopefully you can interpret these. I know we haven't went over these with you before, but
That's-
it's pretty straightforward.
I've seen them. That's okay.
Okay.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Steve Snyder, I'm licensed in the state. The Affordable Care Act, in simple terms, is the government sending money to an insurance company to reduce or eliminate health insurance premiums. Okay. There are 37 states that I'm 38 states that have a Covered California type organization. And the reason for that is because the size of the population, number of people to manage the federal money coming into the authorized by the states coming into the state to be distributed out to the insurance companies. Obviously, in our state, we have this organization called Covered California. It's called a marketplace. And the eligibility is, you can go to the next slide. Yeah, you can stop right there. This is, oh, you have 23?
Yeah, I know it's a bit outdated.
You want me to bring up and share 25?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay,
If
let
we can
edit the
allow
screen.
Steve to share. Yeah. Like I said earlier, Cesar, it's been a while.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
We'll put that to update that screen.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you two of them, okay?
Okay.
Oh, come on. There we go. All righty. FPL.
So does this mean, I think at this point, Lynn, I guess we need to stop sharing, I guess?
I did
Okay.
stop sharing,
And
Charles.
then so Steve can be able to share.
Yeah, no, I'm
And you
stopped
you
sharing.
guys provided that, Lucas, right?
Host disabled participating screen sharing. You have to permit me to share screen.
Yeah.
Try now.
If you guys
Try
can,
now. Sorry.
yeah. No problem.
Okay, so you can see a spreadsheet up here straight in front of you. Let me enlarge it. Okay, can everybody see the program eligibility by federal poverty level?
Yes.
Okay, so what this is this is the schedule that approves you to receive money from the government or not, okay? And let's just take a single person and I'll explain how it works. Okay, it works on basically the poverty level of income is based at the up to 138% of what they call the federal poverty level. I like to take that out and call it low income level because we all make different incomes, and it's the word poverty to me is not a positive word, and I think they should change it, but that's my hit. So anybody making under 20,783 is going to go to Medi-Cal. Okay, Medi-Cal is the California version of Medicaid, which is the national insurance program for disabled people or low income or below the poverty level. Okay, so in order to qualify for any money from the government sent to an insurance company, you have to be making more than that. Okay, so if you're at the $21,000 or $22,000 level, you're at this percentage over the poverty level. You break 30,000 here and here. Now these enhancements up to last year stopped at about 39,000. Okay, and the rest of it was losing coverage rapidly until you got past this point. Okay, on November 1st, or actually the 6th, the day after the election, this was extended, and I'll explain what this is in a moment. This was extended way past out of the maximum. And that was to encourage more and more and more people to enroll in Cover California. I believe this is my opinion, but I think it was a defensive tool because the current administration, which was the two previous administrations ago, attempted to disrupt and do away with the Affordable Care Act 62 times to no avail. And I think that they changed this, Affordable Care Act changed this extension to boost the number of people they could get into it, to have more people in the system. And I think we added 6 or 7 more million people across the country as of January 1st. Okay. So let's take a family of 4. If you're a family of 4, man, wife, and 2 children, and you make less than 43,000, your family's going to go to Medi-Cal. If you're currently a Kaiser family, Kaiser membership, you'll stay in Kaiser because Kaiser is the largest Medi-Cal provider in the state. Okay, for a single person, and if you're making money over, I think the limit's 27, 28,000, 22,000, I'm not sure. But if you max out at $450 a week, your annual income will be rated at 23,400, and you'll fit real nicely in here and have almost a 0 premium silver program. Okay. Any questions? Okay. There's a Medi-Cal for pregnant individuals and all sorts of other things that we don't need to go over right now because I want to keep it as brief as possible to give you an understanding. And if you're interested more in depth, you let me know. These are the center benefit design structures. There's 4 principal premium levels: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. The bronze is primarily a catastrophic level, very, very low premium with high out-of-pockets, and also for people who have a lot of money who want to create a health savings plan where they'll pay for their medical, they put money away for medical expenses. The silver is the best-selling plan for value. So when the Obama administration initiated this program, and I believe it was 2010, his instructions to the architects were to take what they thought would be the best-selling program for value and create a situation for moderate incomes to be able to be insured, to have more, to let the people with moderate incomes have a chance to get insurance, right? And so there's 3 parts to the insurance. There's the premium, there's the co-pays, and then there's either no deductibles or deductibles, and then out-of-pockets. The out-of-pocket, well, on a standard silver program is $8,700, right? the out-of-pocket max occurs primarily when you're hospitalized. Okay, if you're in one of the enhanced silver programs, let's just take this one for example, $6,100. If you're hospitalized for 2 nights and 3 days, and the bill could be 30,000, 40, 50, 72,000. Okay. At the bottom of the bill, your insurance policy is going to pay for everything except you're going to be billed for 6,100. Okay. So if you're in a situation with Cover California and an agent enrolls you, if they don't talk to you about purchasing some hospitalization supplemental insurance, which is an indemnity policy, which covers that, and at a young age, it's not very expensive, then they're not doing their jobs. At least give you the option to make sure you can get coverage for that. Okay? Any questions? So Cover California, based on income, qualifies you to get coverage. If somebody's interested in becoming insured by February 1st, in a couple of weeks, we can do that for you. We can get you insured, okay? And also, Charles? Charles?
I'm here, yes.
Yeah, if I go, I'm gonna go in another direction for just a moment. And
Okay.
and if you don't want it, just tell me to stop. But, insurance companies grow by increased sales and also increased people. And we're no different. We're not heavily into recruiting, but we are recruiting. If anybody's interested in learning about becoming an agent in the insurance industry, let me know. My contact information is inside the chat. You can click my website and fill out the information on the lead source. I'll call you, or call me, or email me. And Cover California is there to help you. And if anybody wants to check me out, you can Google health insurance, Steve Snyder, 94522, and you can see all my reviews. Thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to helping anybody that needs help.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. No problem. We're all about careers. So,
Yeah.
however that needs to be delivered, that's no problem. It's about networking as well.
Yep.
And we will provide a list of, again, as I stated earlier in the presentation, of all presenters. So that includes Steve's contact information in case you want to set up a one-on-one appointment with him. All right. Thanks again, Steve. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right.
Did we have any questions for Steve?
Yeah, are there any questions based on what you just heard regarding Cover California from anyone before we move on to the next presentation? Anything in the chat? You never know. Okay. All right. So it looks like we can move on to the next slide and presentation. And that will be our U.S. Department of Labor. They have a call center and office in San Francisco. And the presenter that you'll be meeting is Armando Iles. Armando, you there? Take it away.
Good morning. Thank you, Charles. My name is Armando Islas. I'm an attorney and I'm with the U.S. Department of Labor. I first want to start off by saying, I hope some of this information is valuable to you during these times, during a layoff. And we do these presentations a lot, unfortunately, but there are really good resources with the Contra Costa County Development Group with San Jose, all across the state. With the Department of Labor, we deal with a lot of issues. For example, if you get hurt at work, if they're not paying you your wages, things like that. With my agency specifically, we focus on ERISA, which is all of the rights regarding your employee benefits. So the two main things we want to touch on today are your COBRA and health benefits and any retirement benefits that you may have accumulated. So starting off with COBRA, COBRA will be offered to you by the employer, Barnes and Noble, by law. So they have to allow you the opportunity to stay on that same insurance plan that you had while you were an employee for at least 18 months, and you can get extensions in certain scenarios. I did want to take a moment to ask our union representatives that are here, are any of these workers receiving severance packages, or are they going to be receiving any COBRA stipends or benefits, or they're going to pay for their benefits at any portion? after being laid off?
I believe there is a severance, Armando. She did mention that, but Megan, if you don't mind, if you can go into a little more detail for our DOL representative.
I actually don't have the details on the full severance package. I'm not sure if
Oh,
Lori Mesa has more
okay.
details on that.
I just heard severance package, so
Yeah, I
that
do know
they'll
that there's a
eventually.
severance package for the members.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, there is. And there is mention on Cobra as well.
Great. So usually, most cases under the law, employers have to offer you COBRA. However, you're usually responsible for 100% of the premium, which can be very expensive. So while you were an employee at Barnes and Nobles, you were probably paying $100 to $200 out of your check, or maybe less than that. But your employer, Barnes and Nobles, was paying the rest of it. So if you were to go on Cobra normally, you're going to be paying thousands of dollars just for yourself, up to $2,000 a month if you have, a whole family plan with your kids, spouse, any dependents, things like that. Now, if it is the case in your severance package where they're going to continue paying for their portion of the Cobra, or they're going to pay for the full month of Cobra, however many months they give you under your severance package, we highly recommend you take advantage of those free months that the employer is going to pay for it. It's basically free healthcare for however many months that they're stating that they're going to cover it. Now, usually we would refer you over to Steve Snyder or any other covered California representative because those plans are going to be much more affordable while you're looking for a job. But the good thing about the law is that once they stop paying you that stipend, or once they stop covering you on Cobra, let's say your severance package includes 3 months of Cobra, after those 3 months, you'll get another special enrollment window where you'll be able to sign up for the covered California plan then. That way you're not stuck with paying $1,000 to $2,000 a month on the Cobra plan. If you want to stay on it after that and just continue paying the premiums, that's up to you. But we typically will recommend take advantage of your Cobra, stay on the employer's plan as long as you can, as long as they're paying for it. And then after they stop paying for it, weigh your options. Is covered California a more affordable option, or do I want to stay on the Cobra plan in case I have a big surgery or a pregnancy or something like that coming up? The other thing we do focus on is on all your retirement benefits. So I know this was a union. Were all of the workers eligible for a pension if they had been vested? Perhaps my union reps can help me out on that one. Was there any pension or was it just a 401k?
No pension.
Got it. Well, in that case, it's just a 401k. We always do recommend that you roll over your money out if you had any 401k with your union. So, for example, right now, the 401k money could be with Fidelity, but next year the union might say, hey, we're going to switch to Charles Schwab just because it's more affordable this year. But then, since you're no longer working here, you may lose track of where that money is going to be. And then by the time you actually want to retire, it might be really hard to get a hold of the union or get a hold of whoever was holding your money right now in 2025. So, anytime you separate from the employer, we're always going to recommend move that 401k money that you have over to your new employer if you've already secured new employment, or just move it over to an IRA, an individual retirement account. That way you can keep track of your money and you know where it's going to be once you reach your retirement age and you're able to take that out without any extra penalties. Um, that's pretty much all the information I have. You can always go to our website. You can always give us a call, and we're always able to assist you. We have a huge call center here in San Francisco where either myself or one of my colleagues would be able to assist you. We also have over 10 languages that are spoken in our office here in San Francisco alone, so we can assist you in the language of your preference. And we also have translators in case one of us doesn't speak your preferred language. But once again, Armando Islas with the Department of Labor. Um, I'll put my contact information in the chat right now too if you guys have any other specific questions about your situation.
Thank you, Armando. And of course, on the contact sheet, we just put the agency contact information, but anyone can help you there in addition to Armando. So that's the reason we didn't have a specific information on the list. But yeah, feel free, Armando, to put what you are comfortable with putting in the chat. And again, as I stated earlier, if anyone wants to set up a one-on-one appointment with Armando or someone from his agency at DOL. They'll be happy to assist you. All right, thank you. We're gonna move on. And our next speaker is with the State of California Employment Development Department, known as EDD. And I'll turn it over to my associate, Lynn Marie Sidaro. Take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry for all of the technical issues on my end this morning. And with respect to your recent layoffs, I'm sorry for, you're having to go through that. We do have a lot of opportunities here and throughout all of the offices in the America Job Centers and the business partners, and we're here to help you. Specifically with regards to the unemployment information, this first sheet here is a fact sheet. It can be found on the website, which is the edd.ca.gov. So all of the information that we're presenting for general information, the best way to get questions answered on unemployment or any of the other branches, which include state paid family leave and the tax branch. You can use the search tool on the website. This just gives you an overview of times, general questions that people might have, and contact phone numbers, and how to apply for that. So this fact sheet, again, the fact sheet itself, there's a form down here at the bottom, and that can be located on the website as well. So for anybody who has had a prior unemployment, state disability, or paid family leave claim, we do want to make sure that people know that when you file your claim, that they are doing different updates. So now it's My EDD is the account, whatever email address you had on a prior claim, regardless of which branch you filed it, that's the email address that is associated with your Social Security number. So you do not need to re-register your account. So if you're having a problem with doing the password reset or updating on your My EDD account, we do recommend that you contact the branch that you had that initial claim with in order to get the assistance. So if it was a prior unemployment claim, that is the branch that currently is the easiest to get a hold of on their general contact numbers. But if you're having a problem reaching that branch, come into the America Job Center. We do have a special designated phone number where we can get you in touch with that branch. And same thing with the other branches, you can come in. We do want to make sure that you don't lock yourself out of your account. Don't re-register it with a new email address. It does need to be updated on by one of the branches or by you on your account. And with respect to filing the claim, so you guys talked about getting some different packages. So I'm not sure, are they only getting severance pay, or is there going to be any wage continuation?
Solely severance.
Only severance. Okay. So just be aware that when you, based on your last date of work, if it falls in the middle of the week and that first week is less than a full-time week, you can file for unemployment during that week. When you do file, you do need to report your gross income. So if you work less than 40 hours, you can file so that that first week, that is your waiting period week, that you're able to, still use that information. But make sure that you're reporting your gross earnings. So if you have that first week, if you worked one day, you need to know how many hours you worked and what your hourly rate of pay is, so that you make sure that you don't have any kind of penalty issues. And you can always come into the center or reach out to me if you have questions at the point that you're filing. Any time that you file a claim, the claim begins the week that you file, and it reverts to the Sunday of the week that you're filing. So it doesn't matter if you file on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever, it always reverts to Sunday of that week. The claim certifications are going to be a Monday through Friday, or excuse me, a Sunday to Saturday. So for anybody that may have a second part-time job, just, you will be filing based on whoever you last perform work for. So if you work for Barnes and Noble one day, but you have a scheduled day later in the week, just make sure that whatever is the last employer that you physically go in and perform work, that you're reporting the correct last employer. And again, if you need help with, that filing information, you can always come in or reach out. The online portal, again, is that edd.ca.gov. If you have questions specific for unemployment, if you have problems on the account, you're going to reach out through that 1-800-300-5616. Or if you're having difficulty reaching them through either of those, you can come in and we'll put you in touch with that branch. And again, they're updating a lot of things on the website. So they are adding a lot of access for other languages. So if anybody falls into those categories, or for deaf or hard of hearing, they do resources available, and the service information is here on this, but it's also found on the edd.ca.gov if anybody needs that information. And then what I was talking about when you're registering the account and logging in, this is where you're going to your My EDD account. You're using a email. So if you had a prior claim and already associated, this is where you're going to put it. You forgot your password. It is a two-part authentication, so it's going to send you something to your email address. So if you had a prior email, and that's where if you don't have access to it, you're going to not be able to do the, updating the password and getting into the account to update to a new email. And then after you file the claim, if you file it, you're going to receive information by mail. If it's on online account, you're going to receive those certifications on the account itself. So there's 3 ways to file for unemployment. You can do it online, which is recommended because things go faster in terms of, mail by USPS is going to be 7 to 10 days each direction, plus the processing time. So they've updated the accounts in terms of how the payments are made, and I'll get to that. Money market. So if anybody's had previous, they were using B of A. So if you hadn't had a claim in a while, you'll be getting the new money market cards. You can now have direct deposit. So it's all how you're setting it up. So if you do have everything online, you can set everything up and receive payments faster. And this gives you on how to certify for your benefits. Again, everything is always going to start off with that edd.ca.gov using the search bar tool or doing, entering these // and information. You're going to be able to, if you don't file online or if you have a problem being locked out, you can file by phone or by paper. There's always going to be the the ID Me verification process, regardless of which method that you apply. And also with the certifications, you're going to, again, be able to certify either directly on your My EDD account. You can certify by mail, or there is a telecert phone number, which is shown here on this screen. And again, you can always access all of this information on the edd.ca.gov website. And then for the ID Me verification, if you're filing online, it's going to be taking a picture of the front and back of your driver's license and then doing facial recognition. So again, that's part of why filing online is the fastest and easiest way. So if you get through the facial recognition, and I say get through it because it's a sensitive system. So for people who have an older picture of themselves or if you had a beard, a mustache, and you no longer, those kinds of little things can cause the system not to accept the facial recognition. So if you're filing by paper or by phone, or if you have a problem with that facial recognition, then it's going to ask for additional information. Also, if on your California driver's license or California ID, if you had an address change, meaning that you're filing a claim, but what shows on your driver's license is a different address, that is another reason that it will reject that at the online point. The recommendation is to go on, if you have a My DMV account, or if you don't, create one, because when you update your address on the My DMV, it will link to this ID Me process. So even if your physical address is different on your card, you have that linked. And I believe it takes 48 hours from the point that you update it on your My DMV account. So that can save you some time, and this provide additional documentation. We do assist people with fax documents, but be aware that especially when it comes to documents that are a picture ID, whether that's your passport or a California driver's license or a California ID, doesn't always look the same on the end of receiving as it does on what we put through. So they will, if they send you that request, they always ask you to mail in those documents. If you want to come into the center and get assistance with faxing, we will do that, but we still recommend mailing the documents in addition, so that if those documents don't get accepted from the fax, that then you already have that in process, rather than waiting for the mail to get to you and then have to remail it at a later point. But it does cover the different things that you have for secondary as well as primary verification. And again, this gives you the DE number or form number, which you can access this information also on the online. And you don't have to send one from each of these, but we always recommend more is better, in the sense that if you send one from this category and it's not accepted, you don't have to wait for things to be sent back to you to ask for that additional information. And then getting paid, you can use the debit card. So that used to be a B of A card. Now they are using the money market. And money market, basically it's the same thing. It's your money gets put onto the card, and then you can transfer that to a bank account, or you can do now just setting it up for a direct deposit. It does give you, this again, this was when it changed over back in January of 2024. So that's been, now a system for a year. And then they do have that direct deposit. So you can set everything up right on your My EDD account at the point that you are filing for your unemployment claim. And if you need help with any of that, you can come into the center and we can assist you with that at the point that you're filing that claim. And so this just gives you the information, and there's a lot of information you can, find on the edd.ca.gov website if you want to, look into how these processes work in determining which one is going to work best for you in terms of how you want that payment made. And then we do, along with our business partners, use the CalJobs. For unemployment, when you file your claim, they're going to send you a letter that notifies you that you have 21 days to register on CalJobs. So if you've had a prior unemployment claim, or if you were aware of CalJobs from another method at some point in your past, your account is the same. So sometimes that letter just gives you the general way that when unemployment registers you, what they use to create a username. But if you had a prior account, you would want to log in using that prior username. If you need assistance with determining what that is, there is a step process on the Cal Jobs itself, or you can come into the America Job Center and any of the staff can assist you with that. Cal Jobs is a platform just like any of the other, employment services. What's nice about Cal Jobs is that it does pull information from those other sources as well. And so unemployment requires this. It is a way for them to also make sure that, people are meeting those requirements. So when you're on unemployment, if your wages that establish your claim are from full-time work, you are required to be available, and seeking full-time work each week that you're certifying for benefits. And this is, one of the ways that they do ensure that people are looking for work. So on the accounts, you can have as many as 10 resumes. So for anybody that's using those services through Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, the career coach, or any of the EDD staff, if you come into the center, can with those services of, how to take your skill set and maybe similar or closely related fields, or taking them to a completely different, industry, but still using those skill sets. So whether it's with training or not, you can, then be looking for other work. And we also do, at least in our branch, and I'm sure all of the America Job Centers have different times and business partners who come in, but we do have on Tuesdays in an offset room where somebody helps with just resumes. So sometimes that can be a little quieter and more individualized, because we do get a lot of foot traffic for phone calls to the other branches. And then we do have here on the California training benefits, which goes hand in hand with Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. So California training benefits is not monies to cover the cost of school or training. What that is an approval process through the unemployment branch. And so what that does is that it allows you to change that Seek Work plan if you have approval, meaning that while you're in school or training for full-time, you're not required to meet those requirements of being able, available, and seeking full-time work. So the criteria and the important things is that that school has to start before the benefits exhaust. And you have to notify unemployment branch no later than the 16th week of the claim. Now, the key with that 16th week of the claim is that you have to have an initial claim that has at least 16 or more weeks. So just be aware of that. I'm not sure if everybody was working full time or qualifies based on the last 18 months, what's in your base period. But if you do have a claim that is less than 26 weeks, just make sure that if you're trying to take advantage of that, that you reach out as soon as possible. So regardless, the sooner the better. And if you have a full 26-week claim, no later than the 16th week, you want to be working with that career coach to make sure that your school or training does begin before the benefits exhaust. And then you also have one other requirement here, and that is that you didn't have that prior approval within the last 3 years. And
Could I add something, Lynn?
sure.
So one of the things that I always try to make sure I emphasize on this part is that this is where the WeOR program I spoke on earlier goes hand in hand with the California training benefits. And so Lynn, as she eloquently explained, you know, EDD doesn't pay for training, but that's where we come in at as the workforce board, or we are providers at Rubicon. We provide the funding for the training, but you're able to get an extension of your unemployment while you're in training. So while you're in school, you're still receiving your unemployment. One of the things that we try to emphasize here is that when you first, enroll in your, or I should say, file for your unemployment, there is a section in there that asks you if you'd be interested in training. Even if you're not, you should check that box up front, so you don't have to worry about it down the line when it's getting close to your claim being exhausted and you're scrambling. Because I've gotten some calls on that before. So it's like insurance. Just go ahead and check the box. Either way, you're covered. So if you do want to take advantage of that option, you get in a WIOA and you need to utilize the California training benefits, there won't be any questions because you already opted in. And that's just simply sending a message through the portal, and they have all that information there. So I just wanted to emphasize that point just for the sake of timing. As you come in, go ahead and just opt in to CTB. That way you're covered. I rest. Thank you, Lynn.
Okay. So to expand on that, the 16th, by letting them know by the 16th week of the claim, then you have the potential for an extension. So that extension will mirror whatever number of weeks, actually up to the same number of weeks as your initial claim. So that'll all depend on your benefits exhaust and when the school ends. So as long as that school starts prior to the benefits ending and you've notified them, and as Charles pointed out, if you let them know right out of the gate that you have that interest, it has no impact on your claim unless you actually enroll in school. So that first week that your school starts, that's when you need to answer yes on your continued claim form. And then just be aware that at that point, unemployment will schedule you for a phone appointment, and that is part of the normal process. And that is the process for getting you the approval for California training benefits. And they will take care of, gathering all of that information. The WIOA career coach will be able to assist as far as, providing the information, but be aware that you can also, if you're interested in other school or training, that as long as it has that start date. So sometimes people are working at and already in school. So if you're already in school at the point that you're filing your claim, make sure that you notify, and they will go through that phone process at an earlier point. But it is possible to get approval. There are, the gathering of information. So it just depends on whether or not the school is full-time, and all of that criteria again can be found on the edd.ca.gov website. And I think that is most of it. But if you have questions specific to that, you can, reach out. We can also help you if you want to speak with unemployment branch. And if you feel like the information that you're getting on the website doesn't answer all of the questions that you have before enrolling. And the other thing that we have here is priority service for our veterans. So if we do have any veterans that are part of this layoff, thank you for your service. We do have veteran representative program where we give not just the priority service, but in some situations where they case manage. So you have more of that one-on-one assistance. Looking at some of the other employment programs, or excuse me, the other school and training that they can have in addition to that WIOA, some of the Chapter 31 and other services that are through our veterans program. So if you do qualify for that, you can reach out, let me know. I can help with getting you registered for that in addition to just being registered for Cal Jobs. And then the other thing is, we do have on a lot of our job leads, they'll hold for certain, whether it's 1 day, 48 hours, where our veterans do get priority on applying for positions. So there are different aspects to that veteran program. But if you do have questions, you can reach out directly to me, or you can call in through the general contact number that is located here, and any one of our staff can assist you with that. And also, just like any of our other programs, if that doesn't apply to you, but if you have friends or family that are veterans and are out of work, please let them know that our services are here and they're welcome to reach out to us. And we do also have that on for our youth programs. It's the same thing. So if you don't fall into those youth categories, if you have friends or family, if your kids are of working age, even if it's their first time, that they're looking for work, we do have a variety of services and they can come in for that. And then it does cover here for state disability and paid family leave. So you can't be on unemployment and state disability or paid family leave at the same time. But if you have a recommendation from a doctor that you needed a surgery, maybe you've been postponing it, you can file both to lock in your base period wages, meaning to hold that high quarter amount in terms of the 1 year period of time and what your weekly amount would be. You would, for state disability, need to have a doctor complete a section of that claim form. If you're going to do that where you file for either paid family leave or state disability, just make sure that you know what date the doctor is giving as the start date, whether it's the disability, meaning you yourself are the one that is the patient, or if you're taking care of a family member who, you maybe other family members have been taking care of, but now, you'll have an opportunity to assist with that. And if you have questions about either of those programs, again, that there's a wealth of information on the edd.ca.gov website, or you can come into our office. We do have some information for, we also have the paper applications. So if you're having a difficulty filing any of the claims online for state disability and paid family leave, they do not allow filing by phone. They do allow either online or paper application. And so if you're having a problem, we can assist you with providing that paper application. And okay, does anybody have any questions? And I can't see if there's anything in the chat pod.
Yeah, and looks like there's nothing in the chat box. Anybody want to unmute and ask any questions? So really want to thank everybody for being here. We're gonna do another presentation at 1. We did record this, and I'm gonna send an email out to everybody with this information. So for example, your PowerPoint, if you could email it to me and I could convert it into PDF and give everybody that link as well, that email, post email. And thank you, everybody, for being here. If there's any other questions.
So I just wanted to ask Steve, did you get my email to send me those charts? Because I can add it to the PowerPoint in between here so we can have it for the next one.
Let me check my email.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds good. Well, thank you, Cesar. I'm glad that we were able to get the first session done. We had a little bumpy road, but we got through it. And I'm also happy to say that my partners in Rubicon, they was able to use another email. They have both their Rubicon one and their assigned county email from us. So they were able to use the county one, and it looks like they'll be all set for
Yeah, when?
the second session. Rita? Hidalgo. So she
Perfect.
represents Rubicon for us. So she sent me an email and said, looks like things should be fine for the second session today at 1. And if not, of course, I can always pinch hit for it like I did before. No problem.
Oh,
Yeah, Lynn, what's your
I
email?
think
It's gonna be Lynn Marie dot Sidaro. I'll just put it in the chat. Hold
Yeah,
on.
that's good.
thank you. And
Mhm.
Sing, I noticed that you unmuted yourself. Do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to say thank you guys for holding this meeting. Thank you for the information. And good luck on your second meeting. It looks like you guys maybe got some good practice in. So hopefully smoother meeting the second time, right?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Alright.
that.
everybody.
Yeah.
right.
Thank you,
Have a
everybody.
good day, you guys.
Hi.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you.